Hello again, I am Blunty here. I feel like I'm being forced to yet again try and play the voice of perspective because fanboys are once again out of control. I do this from time to time with the whole, game console crap. And I'm going to have to do it for phones today because Apple, while I slept, announced their new iPhones, and some haters out there are losing their minds about it because Apple have done the outrageous, the unthinkable. They've taken away the inbox charger and headphones. Outrageous. It's just corporate evil or something. Now, I am going to come to the defense of Apple in this, and I do personally use an Apple iPhone for several different reasons, primarily of which is because I use video, for work. I find that using the camera on this is a lot nicer than using a camera on any Android I've ever tried, including the shiny brand new Pixel 5 here, which I'm not allowed to show you or tell you about yet because I'm still under embargo for the review of that, but it's coming soon. But okay, let's sidestep for a minute. There's just one company making these things, right? It's Apple making iPhones, and they have a very limited range of iPhones. So when you're developing an app for these, a third party developing an app, there's only a very limited amount of hardware configurations you have to target and account for. That's not true in Android, which is a wild west of stuff. So I find when it comes to apps, particularly the apps that I need to use in my workflows, like camera apps, editing apps, image editing, video editing, recording, all that kind of stuff, they work better with this because the developers have a better known quantity than they do with this. Even if it's the same developer and the same app, between this hardware and this hardware, it works better on Apple's. Apple also have excellent cameras. Maybe they're not the best. On paper, there might be higher resolution cameras out there or ones that have a better dynamic range or whatever. But the entire package, the workflow, end to end, from shooting to publishing all the way through, works better on this for me, how I use it. So that's one of the reasons I choose Apple iPhone. If you want to call me a fanboy because I'm coming to defense of Apple in this video, then I invite you to watch my reviews that I've done on previous Pixel phones and wait a little while for my review of this. Because, I'm not an anti-Android guy. I like Androids for very many reasons. I just don't choose them for my personal use because of some of those reasons I talked about before. Now then, so Apple aren't giving you these things anymore, and people are trying to make a big deal out of it. They're all outraged. It says, it's ridiculous. Well, Apple are forcing you to buy your charger separately and buy your cable separately, and they're just thinking you might already have one of these. Well, who doesn't have one of these already? At least one. I've got a friggin' drawer full of them. Who is inconvenienced by not having one of these in the box with the phone? I'm asking you, I'm legitimately asking you, who is inconvenienced? First-time smartphone buyers? They are literally the only people out there who won't have one of these already. Whether it's an Apple one or an Android one, doesn't matter, because they just output power over USB. It's a standard. It'll work. But who is inconvenienced? Who doesn't already have one of these? First-time smartphone buyers. People who have never, ever owned a smartphone or any other electronic device because, these aren't just used for smartphones, but, who out there for their very first smartphone on the face of the planet is buying a premium-priced Apple iPhone? How many of those people are out there? I'm willing to bet it's a 0.0 something % of buyers of iPhones who will be first-time buyers who will go, oh, there's not a charger in the box. I have to buy one separately. Oh, no. Terrible inconvenience. It's idiotic to complain that there isn't one of these in the box because no one's going to be inconvenienced, but no one in any practical way is going to be inconvenienced by not having one of these in the box. In fact, it's a convenience not to have one because I have a drawer full of these. I've thrown them away because I have so many. They're cluttering up the place. I've literally thrown these out because I have too many. But I am a tech nerd and tech tuber, but that kind of goes with the territory of that to some extent. But I'm willing to bet that there is at least 3 of these in any average household out there. At least 3. So then you've got the people whining and complaining and thrashing their fists at the sky and gnashing their teeth that they're going to USB-C on the end that goes into the charger, and these are obviously USB-A, the ones you've already got. And they'll go, well, they give you the wrong cable. You have to buy another cable if you want to use your own charger. If they don't give you the charger, so you have to use your old one, but then the cable they give you doesn't work with your old one. Yeah? So just use the cable you already had for this. If you have one of these, you already have the cable you need to plug into the phone. You idiot. You moron, you thoughtless, brainless twat! Seriously, think! If you have one of these, you already have the cable you need. If you're moving from an Android phone, you might not have the cable you need. But a lot of Androids, their wallwarts have been using USB-C for quite some time now anyway. So if you've bought your Android phone the last 3 years or so, chances are you still won't have to buy a new cable. And if you do, then you just have to get a new cable. It's a few extra bucks. And you're buying a premium priced Apple iPhone to begin with. What's a few extra bucks for the cable at that point? Really going to quibble over that? What person out there can justify buying an iPhone but can't justify buying a cable if they just so happen not to have the correct arrangement of charger and cable to hand? It is actually more convenient for me to use my old chargers with the USB-A cable to charge my phone and have the USB-C cable come in the box, because guess what my computer uses? A USB-C. So I've got a USB-C to Lightning cord, which I didn't have before. I was using an adapter to, when I needed to directly connect this to my MacBook. Well, at least when my MacBook was working. It's dead at the moment, but that's neither here nor there. The point remains is the choices they've made what to put in the box are a good thing. It's the smart thing. It's a useful thing. And as they're trying to frame it up in their advertising, it is an environmentally friendly choice. So let's talk about their choice not to include any headphones in the box. I'm going to roll back to the similar argument here. How many people don't already have headphones? How many people who are buying a premium, high-performance, high-priced Apple iPhone don't have headphones? I'm waiting for your answer. None. No one anywhere on the planet who is spending money on one of these doesn't have headphones already, whether they be wired or wireless. Well, if they're wired and they've got the wrong cable on it, well, you buy the adapter. That's, $12 or whatever it is, big deal. Or you finally get around to upgrading to wireless, whatever it is. Nobody who buys one of these even wants to use in-box headphones, especially not wired ones. Because what's the customer for an iPhone? All right, these are premium, luxury products. For some of us, a tool, a work tool. So the customers for iPhones are, let's start at the fashion conscious. They are a fashionable thing. They are a premium, classy item. They're a status symbol for some people. You have the iPhone. You've got the best, most expensive iPhone. You got it in gold. It's a fashion statement for some. The people who buy the iPhones for that reason are not going to be using the in-box headphones anyway, because that's not a fashion statement. The AirPods are a fashion statement. Good wireless headphones are a fashion statement. Fancy noise-cancelling headphones like these. They're their fashion statement. They're the ones that says, I've got money to spend on luxuries. This is my luxury set of headphones. They're not going to be using these. The other type of person who buys these, and I fall into this category, is because of the technology and the way it folds into their personal and or work life. So we want the best tool for the job we're trying to do. That's not the in-box wired headphones either. They are awful. Apart from being cabled, which I've never liked, getting tangled in the cables and you're throwing your bag over your shoulder and you get tangled in the cables or, whatever it is. This, look, I haven't even used these and they're already tangled. All I've done is hold them up to the camera. They were nicely coiled at the start of the recording here and they're already tangled. All right. And they don't sound the best. They're a long way from sounding the best. Even Apple's, let alone Google's ones here, they don't sound very good at all because they're manufactured to be cheap and easy to throw in the box, just so people have something, anything. But again, people already have something, anything, because if you're buying this, chances are you've got at least one set of headphones. I would bet money on it. So the tech conscious are not going to use these. We are going to use good headphones, probably wireless ones, probably ones that cost a couple $100 that sound good. So whether or not you're buying it for a status symbol or for fashion or for technology or for performance or for your work or for your leisure, if you are buying an iPhone, you don't want crappy inbox, cheapo wired headphones. Nobody does. I've thrown away so many sets of those inbox headphones. I'm going to be throwing these ones away that came with the Pixel 5. There's another set inside the yet unboxed Pixel 4a 5G I've got here. Still got the sealed tabs on it. There's another set in there. I'll be throwing those away too because they're crap. I don't want to use them. I'll never use them. And I defy you to point out to me the customer who is going to buy themselves an iPhone who will want to use shitty wired inbox headphones and they can't possibly have any other option in their life. And yet they're buying one of these. It's ridiculous to even suggest. Perspective. Get some. It is so tiresome, so boring every time Apple announces something new, and it's particularly bad with the iPhones. And the funniest, most ironic, most unself-aware thing I see people doing is every time there's an announcement for an iPhone, people mock it because it's not a complete revolution from the last iPhone. Because, it's got very similar cameras, similar screen, similar shape and body. Oh, it's just a relatively minor upgrade. Well, of course it is. The last one came out a year ago. That's how technology works. Old technology. These things. Cameras. My microphone. My lights. My computer in front of me. The keyboard. The mouse. It all incrementally upgrades. You don't have to buy the brand new one every year if you're happy with what you've got and it's not a big enough upgrade for you. Nobody's forcing you to buy the new one. And by the way, the same is true of the Androids. In fact, the Pixel 5 is a step backwards in many respects from the Pixel 4 XL that it essentially replaces because it's lost functionality. It doesn't have the fancy radar thing on the front, for example. It doesn't have face detection. It's got a fingerprint sensor instead. It's lost functionality. But the funniest part about people mocking Apple for not, reinventing the wheel every year when they release a new iPhone is the memes about it are the same memes that get used every year, and people don't see the irony in that. Reusing a meme while mocking somebody for not changing things enough. So I challenge you, I dare you, give me a good, reasonable excuse. Tell me about the person who is spending the money on an iPhone who doesn't already have a charger at hand, who doesn't already have headphones, who doesn't already have the appropriate charging cable to go from this Lightning to USB-A with the USB-A charger they've already got. Explain to me who that person is and how big of a slice of Apple's customer base that person is. I'll sit here and wait for you to explain to me who that person is. No? Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you for letting me get this rant off my chest. I have to do this from time to time. It builds up. I've seen so much of it this morning everywhere I turn on the internet, whether it's Twitter or, the meme sites that I look at just to, have a laugh in the morning or wherever, on YouTube, wherever I look, I see people sort of mocking Apple for this. And it's just thinking, have you not thought about this for 3 seconds? Because that's all it takes for it to make sense. Less than, whatever. Thank you, as always, to the patrons up above there who I know, none of my patrons. They're all smart and clever and intelligent people making nice choices in the world, like supporting their favorite creators. Think, then do. It's the Blunty way. I don't always follow that advice myself, but I try. Do my best. It's all we can ask of anyone, really, right?